They ran until they reached a river. As they stood by the river, a breeze blew. It carried their mother's voice, "Come home." Uju fell to her knees. The red mask broke into pieces. The twins walked back to Okuto. Feet bleeding. Clothes torn. But free. Villagers whispered, "Is that really Uju?" Mama Ozioma ran to them and wept. At the river, the priest poured water over Uju. He sang songs of cleansing and renewal. "The child is lost no more," he said. The sky opened, and rain fell. Ada started a school in the village. She named it Twin Stars Academy. Uju taught art. Ada taught reading. Children came from far and near. A rich man came with an offer to marry Ada. "I will build you a mansion," he said. But Ada laughed. "We already have what we need." One day, a stranger knocked on the gate. It was the same man who bought Mama Ozioma's house years ago. "I heard the story," he said. "Take the house back. It belongs to you." Mama Ozioma cried. The circle was complete. The house had changed. It now had painted walls, glass windows, and tiled floors. But Mama Ozioma saw beyond the changes. She saw her husband's footprints. Her daughter's laughter. She stepped into the living room and whispered, "We are home." Okuto village danced for 3 days. Goats were slaughtered. Drums beat like thunder. Children wore beads. Elders poured palm wine on the ground. "The gods have honored Mama Ozioma," they shouted. But in the shadows, a stranger watched. He wore a dark wrapper and a bone necklace. No one saw him come. No one saw him leave. That night, a knock came. Ada opened the door. A tall man stood in black, his face painted with white chalk. "I have come for what belongs to me," he said. Ada trembled. "Who are you?" He smiled with teeth like a wolf. "Uju promised me a child's laughter. I have come to collect." The man was a spirit. A debt collector from the Red Mask cult. Uju screamed, "I broke the mask. I'm free." But he hissed, "You broke the mask, not the vow." He placed a hand on Uju's stomach. "Then I shall take what grows inside." Everyone froze. Ada whispered, "Uju, are you?" Uju nodded, eyes wide with fear. "I didn't know. I swear." The next morning, they rushed to the Oracle of Humans, an old blind woman with cowries in her hair. She listened and poured palm oil on fire. "The child must be protected," she said. "But the price will be heavy. Whose life must be taken?" Mama Ozioma asked quietly. The flames whispered one name, Mama Ozioma. Mama Ozioma walked to the river where she once washed clothes. She touched the water and said, "Take me instead." The wind howled. The trees bowed. The river turned red for a moment, then calm. That night, Uju dreamt of her mother walking into a fire. She called out, but her voice was lost. When she woke up, her mother was sitting outside, quiet, holding a bowl of kola nuts. Uju knew the time was near. Ada went to the elder chief. "Give me the naming staff," she said. "Let me call the child before it is born." The chief agreed, though it had never been done before birth. "If you name it, you claim it," he warned. Ada raised the staff and shouted, "Nkem," which means, "What is mine stays with me." That night, the dark spirit returned. But when he reached the house, his hands burned. He roared, "Who has named the child?" "I did," Ada replied. "She is ours." The spirit vanished, but his eyes burned in the wind. Uju gave birth during a storm. Lightning danced. Thunder cried. But the child came out strong, quiet, with a strange mark on her chest, a red cowrie shape. They named her Nkem. The villagers whispered, "That child is not ordinary. She was born with a mark." Some feared her. Others worshipped her. But Mama Ozioma held her close. She is not cursed, she said. She is chosen. Ada wrote a letter and sealed it with white chalk. She gave it to the priest and said, "If anything happens to me, give this to Nkem." Then she locked it away under a stone statue of Enyamuyu, the sun goddess. A rich man came from the city. His name was Chief Ofogbu. "I want to sponsor your school," he said. "But the child must bless my land." Ada refused. He smiled. "You will call me again. When your land begins to rot." Weeks passed. Corn dried too early. Yams rotted underground. Even the river smelled strange. Ada remembered Chief Ofogbu's words. Chief Ofogbu returned with a golden box. "Just let her touch the soil," he said. "And I will make your school the best in Africa." Ada looked at Nkem. The mark on her chest glowed faintly. "No," she said. "She is not for sale." An old woman came from Umade. She was once part of the Red Mask. "She is the child of balance," the woman said. "If she laughs, your land grows. If she cries, things die. Teach her joy," the woman added, "or suffer." Nkem wandered into the storeroom and found an ancient drum. When she beat it, the walls shook. Chickens ran. Rain fell. Ada took it and hid it. Some beats wake spirits we cannot send back. One evening, a bird dropped a white stone on their roof. It was shaped like a baby's foot. Mama Ozioma held it and said, "This is a gift. But also a warning." Nkem laughed under the iroko tree. And suddenly, flowers bloomed. Mangoes dropped. Children danced. The villagers called her Omoko Nwa, the good child. Uju collapsed one morning, coughing blood. The priest said, the deal was not broken. It was only delayed. Mama Ozioma held her and cried, "Take me now." But the spirits answered, "One life already given. A second is owed." During the festival, one mask danced alone. No one knew who wore it. Then it removed the mask. It was Chief Ofogbu. "I was the spirit all along," he said. "Return what belongs to me." Villagers gathered as Ada stood between Nkem and Chief Ofogbu. "You used Uju. You cursed our land," she shouted. He laughed. "I gave her power. I only came to collect." Suddenly, Nkem began to sing. And Chief Ofogbu dropped to the ground. Behind Chief Ofogbu's mansion, they found a buried calabash filled with baby teeth, red cloth, and a lizard tail. The priest smashed it. The land began to heal. One morning, Mama Ozioma didn't wake. She smiled in her sleep and held Nkem's cowrie. The village buried her beside the river, under a tree planted with Ada's hands. During her burial, the fire sparked into a woman's shape and cried, "Protect the child." Then it vanished. Everyone saw it. The last cult member returned. A woman called Ayoloja. She came with 50 followers. They wanted Nkem. To protect her, the oracle gave Ada 3 tasks. Cross the river with no bridge. Catch a night bird with a broken wing. Feed a spirit without seeing it. Each task nearly killed her. But she succeeded. The cult came at night. Ada, Uju, and the villagers stood with torches. Nkem stood at the center, calm. She raised her hand, and wind swept the cult away. They were never seen again. Ada turned Twin Stars Academy into a free school. No child paid. All were taught love, truth, and strength. Nkem grew, wiser than her years. Every year, they sang the story. She sold her house, not her hope. She gave her sweat, not her soul. Mama Ozioma, the mother of stars. And under the iroko tree, Nkem laughed, and the land smiled again. One day, a traveler from the east came with an old scroll. He gave it to Ada and said, This belongs to the child with the cowrie mark. The scroll spoke of a child of balance, who would one day restore the four kingdoms of light. The drawing on the scroll looked just like Nkem. Nkem found a small gourd hanging from the iroko tree. When she opened it, it whispered in an old tongue, "Come to the kingdom of Okuto. Your journey begins." She told Ada, "I think I must go." Ada wept. "Why now?" But Uju touched her shoulder. "Mama Ozioma raised us to be strong. This is her spirit's wish." So they packed her beads, her wrapper, and her tiny drum. The village sang her goodbye. Deep in the forest, a black leopard blocked Nkem's path. But instead of attacking, it spoke. "I am Ebo, your guide. Ride on my back, and I will show you the way." Nkem climbed on, heart pounding with wonder. Okuto was hidden between waterfalls and giant baobab trees. The people had grey eyes and wore silver neck rings. Their queen, Ifioma the Wise, said, "We have waited for you for many moons." Nkem was confused. "Why me?" Queen Ifioma smiled. "Because you carry the blood of the first woman who spoke to the sun." They took Nkem to a mirror carved from moon rock. When she looked inside, she saw Mama Ozioma walking beside the gods. Then the mirror cracked and whispered, "The darkness is near." The scroll glowed again. It pointed west. Queen Ifioma said, "You must awaken the 3 other kingdoms, or all will be lost." Nkem and the leopard crossed deserts, where sun sang songs of the dead. They reached the kingdom of dust, where no one smiled. There, Nkem met a girl named Binta, who had no shadow. Binta said, "Our shadows were stolen by a demon called Obi Okuto." Nkem held her drum and played a beat of joy. The shadows returned like butterflies. The kingdom danced again. To reach the 3rd kingdom, they crossed the River of Faces, a river where spirits stared from below the water. Ebo the leopard said, "Do not cry. If you shed a tear, the river will pull you under." But when Nkem saw Mama Ozioma's face in the water, her eyes watered. The river pulled her in. In the river, Nkem sank into her own memories. She saw the day her mother sold the house. He saw her birth. Her mother whispering, "You are my gift to the gods." He shouted, "Mama." Then the river pushed her up. She awoke on a mountain where fire danced from stone. The flame kingdom had no king, only flames. A voice in the fire said, "To awaken us, you must dance with the spirit of pain." Nkem stepped into the fire and danced. Her skin did not burn. The flames bowed and formed a crown. The final kingdom was the hardest, the kingdom of bones. It had been dead for 1,000 years. Nkem stood in the center and sang the name of every villager from Okuto. Bones began to glow. They rose and danced. The kingdom came back to life. Back in Okuto, a new evil had risen. The last mask, Aloja's daughter, had formed a new cult. They planned to take Nkem's heart on her head. Ada blew a sacred horn. The sounds traveled across the kingdoms. Okuto, dust, flame, and bone heard, and came. Each sent their warriors. Nkem rode into Okuto with Ebo beside her. The villagers shouted, "Omoko NWA. She has returned." But the skies turned black. At nightfall, the cult attacked with magic and fire. But the 4 kingdoms stood beside Okuto. Nkem raised her drum. She played the rhythm of life and death. The sky broke open. A beam of light struck the last mask. She screamed and vanished. The sun rose the next morning in gold, brighter than ever. Nkem stood on the hill where Mama Ozioma once prayed. She felt warm arms around her, though no one was there. "Mama," she whispered. The people crowned her Nkomoma, daughter of light. She refused a throne. "I only came to plant joy," she said. "Let the people rule with truth." Ada wrote their story in a big leather book. She called it The Sacrifice of Mama Ozioma. She read it to children under the tree. Each time, she ended with, "She sold her house, but gave us a world." Years later, a bright star appeared over Okuto. No one knew why. But when it shined, crops grew, rivers flowed, and children laughed. They called it Mama Star. Because some stories never end. She had no riches. No gold. Not even a home to call her own. But Mama Ozioma gave her daughter something greater. A future. Her sacrifice became a song. Her story, a light. And today, that light shines through Nkem. Through Ada. Through every child who dares to dream beyond poverty, pain, and fear. This is not just a folktale. This is a legacy. Thank you for watching The Sacrifice of Mama Ozioma. If this story touched your heart, share it with someone who needs hope today. Don't forget to like, comment your favorite moment, and subscribe for more powerful African stories.